going to schools saying that homosexuality is a sin and LGBT issues shouldn't be taught to children. I know that's something that you feel very strongly about. Ideology.
I think
they're not really compatible, are they?
But is this coexisting together, is it not?
Well, it's not, is it?
This debate was about the Muslim vote in Britain and whether there's a radical Islamic movement to gain more influence in our political system. Everyone on the panel agrees the idea is terrifying, and if true, we need to put a stop to it. Nana Akua even said she feels like this country doesn't feel like Britain anymore, and it feels like we are heading towards becoming a Muslim country. Well, everyone agrees except this woman, who is about as delusional as it is possible to be. When asked the same question, she takes offence, saying Muslims feel like their vote is taken for granted. Well, why are people who are British citizens having their vote in a British election determined by what is going on 2,000 miles away in Gaza? Maybe it is time to stop importing people who find issues 2,000 miles away more important than domestic issues, which ends up undermining our democracy. Then she says Muslim issues are typically centred on Islamophobia, which is a massive problem in this country. You wouldn't think so looking at these scenes that we see every weekend. Seems they are more centred on issues in a far-off foreign country to me. You can see Islamophobia all around, apparently. I'm certainly not saying it doesn't exist, but let's face it, the astronomical rise in ferocious anti-Semitism coming from the Muslim community is a much bigger issue right now than Islamophobia directed at them. That is without question. This is the most insane and deluded part, honestly unbelievable. She happens to be a massive campaigner for LGBT rights. The host asks her how she feels about some radical groups saying homosexuality is a sin and LGBT rights should not be taught in schools. What are you insinuating, she cries, followed by, are you asking me how I feel about one individual's comments? One individual? Yeah, right. You just keep your head buried in the sand. He puts to her, isn't this your ideology meeting another radical ideology, and they simply aren't compatible? The predictable reply is, you are misunderstanding radical Islam, and they can both coexist in harmony. What? You mean like they do in Islamic countries? God knows what planet this woman is on. The utter delusion and denial are pathological. I say, leave them to it. If we ever do become an Islamic country under Sharia law, she'll see firsthand just how compatible they are. Just take a listen to this debate.
Some involvement with an individual who has called for a global Islamic state, who led for 7 years a now banned terrorist organisation and clearly doesn't believe in integration. Is that not a problem?
It sounds like a problem. It definitely sounds like a problem when you put it like that. But when you look at what the Muslim vote is, it's just a tool to see the way politicians are voting, right? And this guy shared it. That's all we really know at this stage, isn't it? It's not a political party. It doesn't really have any power.
Of Islam was rejected
the Muslim
by the electoral
vote.
commission.
So really, it's just directing people. Like Muslims do feel like their vote has been taken for granted. That's a valid concern that they have at the moment. So this is a way to just see how their primary concern, which at the moment is Gaza to a lot of people, but I wouldn't want to talk about them as they're a homogenous group anyway.
But what about...
But it's just venting that frustration about Gaza and looking at it.
Well, it says also, quotes unquote, Muslim issues, right?
Yeah.
And we have gone repeatedly to the muslimvote.co.uk to ask them what they mean by that, ask them who their funding is, ask them what they are planning on doing. They have said on their website that anyone who wants to stand, they will help them with resources. Those include legal resources, etc. And if one of the individuals who may have been involved in the setup of that was the leader of a now banned terrorist organisation, Nana, I would raise serious concerns over who else is involved in it.
Well, I mean, I'm concerned about it anyway. I don't like it feels like there's an undertone there. It is clear to me that this is almost, it feels like they're trying to capture the political system and I think that the ends are that ultimately, I know it sounds extreme and you may think that, but I do think that there is a feeling that this country could become a Muslim country if it carries on in this way. I mean, are you not worried about that at all? Do you not? Because
No.
you'd be
I
happy
think
if this country
Muslim
was...
issues are typically problems with the structural Islamophobia that seems to be within this country, which you can see all around.
Is that what you're saying there?
So Muslim citizens in the UK have more likely chance of being
Can
unemployed,
I just
for
interject
example.
and just quickly say that the brother of that individual there has been running and helping out, going to schools, saying that homosexuality is a sin and LGBT issues shouldn't be taught to children. I know that's something that you feel very strongly about.
What are you trying to insinuate? That
I'm just wondering how you feel about that.
how I feel about a individual espousing homophobic beliefs. That, well, obviously, I'd be completely against that. But I'm
That's
saying,
kind of what this stuff is, right?
but how?
Well, because this is almost like your ideology meeting another radical ideology.
I think
and
my-
they're not really compatible, are they?
But it's just coexisting together, is it not?
Well, it's not, is it?
Would you not respect the 4 million UK Muslims who are constantly accused of all sorts of things? And this whole conversation has like a slight overtone of just a misunderstanding of what it is to be Islam, is it not? Like we have a religious freedom in this country. They can be practicing Islam.
Well, I mean,
you can be a
referring
practicing Christian. I
directly
don't.
to the extreme elements of it which are on show, right?
I
And
think-
I don't think that's particularly compatible with a lot of Western liberal values, is it? Including your own, I dare say.
Well, no, possibly not. And I'm not. I don't know. I completely. don't
James, I'll just give final word to you on this. Apparently, you are on the MuslimVote.co.uk website. It's good to know.
At least I've got my nail pin light somewhere. There are a lot of extreme people in this world, Patrick. A lot of people say a lot of stupid things, and you know, I think the phrase that you've used and what the guy from the church earlier on said is make up your own mind. One of the good things about journalism, one of the good things about GB News, is you've set out the facts there. The people who are watching this programme, the people who reported now know what the situation is. I have complete confidence in the common sense of the vast majority of this country to reject views like that.
Okay.